Good afternoon. I'm Pastor Michael Siberia. I'm a Reverend, ordained Reverend. I've never done this before, so please bear with me. I just want to send a message to all our leaders in Florida, in the state of Florida. We are facing a problem in Florida with our children with disability. And when I say the children with disability, I'm talking about autism, I'm talking about Down syndrome, I'm talking about every children that is born with a disability. We have a problem here in Florida that when they growing up and they turn 21, they become second-class citizens in the state of Florida. There's no help for them. There's no help for the parents that are working hard to support their children and have them in a good home for them. And this message is for Rick Scott, Marco Rubio, Bill Nelson. These are the senators and the government of Florida. And to every congressman and every legislator here in Florida. I'm speaking in general. I'm talking about Florida because I've been 6 years in Florida. I don't know what other budgets there are out there in other states. And I'm sure the other states are going to the same problem, that they're not taking care of our children with disability. And when I say children with disability, I'm going to show you a picture. She's my granddaughter. I adopted her when she was a baby. I'm sorry. This is Vanessa. She's 21 years old right now, and the school is going to be over. And that's another problem. When our children turn 21 or 22, there's no more school for them. There's no more programs for them. And then there's a department. There's a department that helps with children with disability, adults with disability. It's called the Agency with Personnel with Disabilities, APD. Now the APD will give you money to help you with different programs for them, or daily programs. They give you help in the house, so somebody could come and help you with your children in your home, for different programs outside. But there's a big problem. There's no money for it. Governor Scott does not fund the government, the program. Marco Rubio, Bill Nelson, and this message is for Donald Trump too, for the President of the United States, because one of his campaign promise was to take care of the United States citizens first. Obama never did that. He sent billions of dollars to Iran when he could have just put the billions of dollars for children with disability in the United States. And Hillary Clinton approved it too. She didn't care about our children with disability. And I'm talking to the Democrats, I'm talking to the Republicans, because I have never seen none of them do anything for our children with disability. Right now, if I'm a refugee to come to this country, I get everything. I'm going to give you an example. If you have a child with disability and they turn 22, 21, you're on your own with your children. Because if you want to get some assistance from the Agency of Persons with Disability, there's a 15 years waiting list. 15 years waiting list for our children. And when I'm talking for those parents out there that have children with disability, that they don't know what to do with their children now when they turn 21. And they don't have the income to pay for themselves for these programs that are out there. Because there's programs out there that charge you $40, $50, $25 a day. But we have to pay it from our own pockets. With limited income homes. And there's a 15-year waiting list. And I want somebody, Rick Scott, Marco Rubio, Bill Nelson, a congressman, anybody, a congresswoman, to give me a call, 856-345-8203. Explain to me why nobody ever even put a bill out there to take care of our children. 15-year waiting list. But if I'm from Syria, and I don't want to offend no Syrians, because I have a lot of Syrian friends and refugees too. And a lot of Muslim friends too. I'm a pastor. I love people. But I'm going to say one thing. There's an order of things, and we have to create that order, and we have to follow that order. I don't know why our children, born citizens of the United States, with a disability, there's a 15-year waiting list for them. But if I come from Syria and I'm a refugee, right away, there's not a waiting list for them. They get food stamps, they get money for rent, they get housing, they get Social Security, they get everything that could be done to them, they get. But our children don't get nothing. It's infuriated me that our government are treating our kids like that. They're concentrating more in all these immigration status than our own children. They don't even talk about our children. In the campaign, I never heard nobody, none of them, say, when I become a Congress or when I become a president, I'm going to do right for the person with disability. Now I'm trusting Donald Trump, that Donald Trump says, when I become the president, I am going to take care of the American people first. So this is your challenge, Donald Trump. This is the challenge I'm putting on your hands. Take care of the people with disability. Take care of my daughter that once she turned 21, she's not a citizen. She's in a waiting list. My daughter became, and she got the waiver from the person with disability only because it was an emergency. But meanwhile, there's kids out there that need the help like my daughter does, and none of them get it because they are in a waiting list. Inmates are not in a waiting list to continue education and get medication and get that. Drug addicts are not in a waiting list to go to a methadone clinic in Florida and to get the methadone. Why they don't put them in a waiting list? There's not a waiting list for welfare or for food stamps out there. There's not a waiting list for that. Tell me why there's not a waiting list. When there's some bums out there that don't want to work and they want to live from the system, they should be put in a waiting list. But the people that have disability, and we say that we're going to bring God back to our country. So the Bible says that we should be taking care of our disabled, our widows, and our poor people. Not the poor that don't want to work either. Because the Bible says too, let that don't work, don't eat. So let's take care of priorities in life. You know, you've been elected to take care of every citizen of the United States. Not to take care of the illegal people in the United States. Not to take care of refugees in the United States. Take care of your people first. How much billions of dollars Obama and Hillary Clinton send to Iran? Our enemies. The people that are saying that we once every Christian and every person dead. Kill the Americans, they say. And you send billions of dollars when our children are needing all that money? I want to see if anybody gives me a call. Right now I'm trying to get legal aid to do the guardianship with my daughter. And I'm still waiting. Do I qualify? I don't know if I qualify. But the problem with this is that the government is not going to help me. You think right now, Donald Trump put a stop on refugees coming into the country. And right away, thousands of lawyers have volunteered. Thousands of lawyers have volunteered. Shame on you lawyers. To protect the people that are not citizens of the United States. But I would like to see if there's a lawyer giving me a call at 856-345-8203 that volunteer to take care of our children with disability. To get guardianship for these parents that are low income. They have low income. And they can't afford a lawyer. And then if you make $1,500 a month and you go to apply for legal aid, you don't qualify. But if you're a bum in the street that get arrested because you committed a crime, you get legal aid right away. You get a lawyer right away. When are we going to stop this nonsense? When are we going to take care of priorities in this country? You know, I love my country. And you know something, since I've been able to vote, I have voted. I have helped people in my life. But I want to know, when is the government is going to do something for our children? You know, every parent wishes to have their kids stay at their home. And sometimes they have to place them because it's so hard. I've been 26 years married to my wife. 26 years. And we haven't been able to go out, not even one time, by ourselves. Because there's no respite. There's nobody out there helping these families with children with disability. And I'm sorry that I get emotional, but it hurts to see how our own people are get treated in this world, in this country. And I wish Donald Trump, and I wish the churches get involved too, because the churches is to be involved with helping the widow, the disabled, and the poor people. But meanwhile, they go all around the world serving other people. Serving other people and not taking care of their own country. If every church in this country was help our children with disability, we wouldn't even need the help from the government. But they're so busy creating big churches. And it's okay that they have a good salary. It's okay that they have a big church. But use your funds wisely for what God created it, to help people with disability. But the churches are even turning their heads around and looking at other ways and not doing their jobs. I visited a few churches when I came to Florida. And this Bible study for the children, for the teenagers, for the adults, but not for the children with disability. There's no program for the children with disability. They're nobody. They're nobody. The church don't have a program for them for Sunday school. And if I'm wrong, please, pastors out there, give me a call and tell me what are you doing for the people with disability. Or what are you planning to do? But Rick Scott, Marco Rubio, and Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio are two senators. Start doing something. Marco Rubio, I sent him a letter. He sent me a letter back that says this is not a federal problem. It is a federal problem, for God's sake. What do you mean it's not a federal problem, Marco Rubio? How dare you send me a letter, an email, and saying that it's not a federal problem, that it's a local problem, that is the government that have to do something about it. And then you send a copy of the letter to Rick Scott. Rick Scott didn't take the time to read the letter. I'm sure his office read the letter and sent me a letter saying, well, you have to send it to legislation and to congressmen. And then they send a letter then to agency with person with disability. What can the agency with person with disability do if they don't have no money? So then I'm going to give you an advice. I wish I could run for Congress one day. Because my concentration is going to be to help the disabled and to help the elderly in this country. Because government have been stealing money, and I'm going to say stealing money, because since Social Security was built, the government has been taking chunks out of it when it's not their money, because those are money that people pay. We the people pay that money into Social Security and to Medicare. And then when you become disabled or you become old enough to take your disability, you still have to pay Medicare. Meanwhile, Obama took $750 million that didn't belong to him, belonged to the people of this country, to create Obamacare. That was Medicare's money for the elder and the disabled, not for Obamacare. And that's only Obama. I'm sure other presidents took money from Medicare and Social Security. When all that money is only... So if I'm Congress one day, that's the bills I'm going to be writing. I want to write a bill. I want Donald Trump to do an executive order that the federal government pays every single money they have taken from Social Security and from Medicare since it started. I want the government to pay for what they have stolen. Because that is money that didn't belong to the federal government. That money belongs to the people of the United States. To the citizens of the United States. And now, the citizens of the United States are integrated in this program in Florida, with assistance with person with disability, agencies, I'm sorry. Let's change this. I'm talking for myself, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that have children with disability have having the same problems. I know that we have such much expense than any regular family in their homes. You know, our home, sometimes when our kids have meltdowns, they destroy things in the house that we can't put it in our tax refunds because the government is not going to refund us that money. You know, if our kids destroy our home, no big deal. You know, people with low income, with children with disability, having a meltdown, are going to go through this. And what's going to happen? We can't even claim it in our taxes. Please, I'm going to say, please, I want a Jim Payne, a Newscast man that has dedicated his life to help the Special Olympics. Jim Payne, this message for you too. You know, interview these people about persons with disability. Interview them. Call them. Call Rick Scott. Call Marco Rubio. Call Bill Nelson. And ask them, what are they doing for children with disability? With adults with disability? Why there's not enough places out there for us when they finish school, they go through that? Why they do more for the inmates in the jail than for the seniors and for children with disability? I want answers. And I know none of these politicians are going to make an answer. Now I wanted Micah to do something about it. And for years, Micah was probably, 24 years as a Congress? And Micah never touched that thing. And he used to come to our dances. He used to come and hang out with the children with disability. But he never wrote a bill under his name. Never. If I'm not politically correct, sue me. But Micah never wrote a bill. He bought it for other things and he participated in everything. But never. How can a person be 24 years in Congress and never even write a bill? Present a bill. How many of the Congress in Florida right now? I don't know if there's 450 Congress legislators all together. I bet you none of them have wrote nothing for people with disability. Because our children are second-class citizens in this country, in the state of Florida. I don't know in other states because I haven't looked at other states. One thing I know about New York State is that in New York State, there's a lot of homes. There's a lot of good things going for the children. Number one, the best. And thanks to Geraldo Rivera, because they used to have in New York State our children with disability in dumps, naked in the corner, into Geraldo Rivera discovered it. And that's when they started taking care of the children. So what's going to happen in Florida? Are you waiting for our children to get hurt? You know how many times I had to call the police in my house because my daughter had a big meltdown? And thanks God that we have the best police force in Sanford. Because the police in Sanford, I'm going to say one thing, is number one, I think, in Seminole County. They have their hands full. But let me tell you, every time a police officer came to my house, they treated us and my daughter with such a high respect and with care. And they came over here and they took care of the problem. It's unnecessary to do this. But our government should be trained. All our government should be trained to take care of disabled children, especially children with autism. Because when you restrain a child with autism, you're going to hurt him. And the police officers out there should know about this. And get trained. The government should train them. Send money to fund those people. Those are the hard-working people taking care of their community, and let's stop blaming them for everything bad that happens. Because I only have good reports for the police in this country. All my life. They always treated me with respect, and I'm Puerto Rican. With dark skin. You could say I'm black, probably, too. And I never had a problem with police about racism. Okay? Because I respect authority. and they respect me. And that's how you get treated. But please, every church out there, every church out there, do something for our children. Because God commanded us to take care of the disabled, and to take care of the poor, and to take care of the elders, of the widow. That was the Jewish tradition. So do something about it. Rich Scott, don't tell me that you send a letter to agency of a person with disability. But if you send a letter, you're not doing nothing. Now, if you take your budget this year and you take away from the jail, okay? And I'm not talking taking away from the salary of the correctional officer, because they are well earned the money and they deserve even better. But take the color TV from the inmates. Take HBO from the inmates. I don't have HBOs in my house. Take that away from the inmates. Take all the weights and the gym and the school and the medical attention and the good food and the snacks at night. Because when I worked in New York as a correctional in Mid-Hudson Psych, the inmates used to get snacks, donuts, and milk at night before they go to bed. And our children in the homes, there's families out there that they can't even do that. In this country, we should take care of the middle class too. And most of our children that are middle class families are the one that we are hurting, because we don't get rewarded for working. People that in this country that work, okay, they don't get rewarded. They get punished. If a person that retired at age 62, they can't work. Because if you work, the government will punish you and take away money from you. When you should give them a reward, because they still pay Social Security, they still pay Medicare. So reward them. When they work overtime, reward them. But the bums in the street that don't work, you give them Medicaid, you give them Obamacare, you give them Obama phone. Wow, they need a phone. And Obama gave them a phone, for not working. That's rewards. You give them food stamps, you give them money for clothes, you give them money for rent. Meanwhile, our children with disability, I know families that right now are struggling. They don't have a life. They don't have a life because they have to spend their life with their children. And that's okay, because we love our children. And we give ourselves to our children. And to our grandchildren, because my daughter is my granddaughter. That was my first granddaughter. And I will take my life and I will put it in front of her, and I will take a bullet for her. But we have to do something about it. We have to do something about it. And I'm sick and tired of shutting my mouth because I have a disability too. I can't write. I can't make letters and send it to Congress and send it to Bill Nelson, send it to Marco Rubio and Rich Scott. But I have a mouth, and I'm going to open my mouth. Of all the imbalanced things of politicians, you think Donald Trump have a mouth? Wait until I keep doing these reports. You're going to hear me every day, because I'm going to fight, and I made a promise that I'm going to fight for every children with disability in the whole United States, and we're going to start here first. Because this country have to take care of our children. Doesn't mean that when they turn 21, they're not human beings. In Florida, Rich Scott, listen to me. They are human beings. And they're a blessing from God, because let me tell you the truth, I am blessed to have been involved with children with disability. Because they are pure hearts. They're great children. They're great adults. And when they give you a hug, they give you a hug without hypocrisy. But the politicians don't know that. Don't say that. A lot of people criticize Donald Trump because he doesn't cover nothing. He says his words and he says it as it is. Because people like hypocrisy. They don't like pure truth in their face. The truth hurts, but the Bible said that the truth will set you free. And if somebody takes you and tell you the truth in your face and put you in a spot, you may probably change your life. So all these politicians, if I'm wrong, I apologize to every politician out there if you have done anything for the children with disability. I apologize. But if you have proof that you have done it, send it to me. My email is mtsiberio@aol.com. M as in Mary, T as in Tom. SIBERIO @aol.com. Send me a message. Let me see the bill that you wrote to help children with disability in Florida. Please. Jim Payne, I know you're involved with the Special Olympics. Please interview these agencies. Interview Bill Nelson. Interview Mark Rubio. Interview Rich Scott and ask them these questions. What are they doing for our children, for adults? Why do our agencies around here have to be raising funds for Special Olympics? Why do the government help us? They help the Olympics. Oh, I forgot. They're regular people. They're not second-class citizens. They're athletes. But you know something? Our kids are athletes too. Go to one of the Special Olympics competition. You're going to see how good and proud they are. When they run and when they swim and they play basketball, they play baseball. So the athletes of the Special Olympics are not more important than the ones that they call it regular. Like Michael, the one that swims. I don't know his name, but no, they made him a big person. But you know something? That big person, they call him smoking pot. Oh, that's good. That is good, right? But do you know, special needs children, they're pure hearts. They will bring a smile to you. Whenever you are sad, they will give you a hug. They will give you a kiss. It's come from their heart. So, from me and from all our special needs children and adults with disability, here, a kiss to every congressman, to Rick Scott, to our President of the United States, and to please do something for us. This is not going to be my first video. Okay? You'll be hearing from me another day. May God bless you, and may God put common sense in your heads to do the right thing. You don't need to be smart to do the right thing. May God bless you. Thank you.